And we are live. Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Grammar Garage series. In this class, we're going to go more in depth with second conditionals and give you some more practice time with the things that we've learned last week. So we're going to do a little bit of a review, clarify any questions, and then we're going to take it a step further. We'll do some exercises first, but then we're going to have a speaking activity where you get to practice everything you've learned with second conditionals very freely. When I say second conditional, I'm talking about those if sentences, the ones that are about the present, but they seem to take place in the past. So they're kind of the trickiest of all the conditionals. The if I won the lottery, I would buy a house. That's the conditional. But we're going to look at some different forms and different uses. Okay? So all of that coming up in just a minute. Let me just get my name on the board, do a little introduction, and then we will get started. So I'm going to put my name on the board first. There you go. Can you see that? There we go. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you from Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on the link in the Verbling chat window, it'll take you to my profile page where you can click follow and see all my upcoming group classes. As well, you can schedule a private tutoring class with me or package. I will work with you on a personalized learning plan to get you to your goals as soon as possible. So if you're interested, send me a message and I'll find time for you in my schedule and we will get started with that. Okay? So here's the deal. Let's take a look at this, which may be a review if you were here last week. And if not, don't worry because we're going to go over this in detail. So, when we talk about grammar, I don't want to talk grammar. I don't want to talk about grammar in a boring way. I want to talk about it in a way that is exciting and communicative. So I want to look at real situations, and then we can take them apart. Ooh, look at that. That's something we said in the last class. We can take them apart. We can analyze them and try to understand if there are rules we can follow, or if there's some guidelines to use the grammatical structure. So today, it's all about how to talk about annoying behavior. When you talk about annoying behavior, probably you're going to talk about what hypothetically you would like to do about it. You're going to be using the second conditional. So that's the context that we're going to use to talk about the second conditional today. So let's start with this. In the last class, we looked at a situation. This was last week. If you weren't here, don't worry. In the last class, we looked at a situation at the office, and I asked you to identify what was going on in the pictures, and then we read 2 emails from 2 of the people that you see. I want to review that because we're going to go back to that text and analyze it. So it's important that we know the situation. Okay? So, let's see. Mr. Kadir, how are you today? You're back again. Nice to see you.
Hello again. How are you?
How many people are in these pictures? How many people work at this office? Look carefully.
How many different people?
Yeah, how many different people do you notice? Because these are different pictures at different times. So how many characters do you think we're going to encounter in this story?
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3, exactly. So you've got the young girl, young guy, and you've got the old guy. Okay, very good. Jose, I think you were here last week. Who is that old guy in relation to the other 2? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think this guy is the boss.
He's the boss. That's right. When you go to work, Jose, does your boss sometimes sit on the desk and play guitar for everyone?
Oh,
No,
it is not a normal situation.
not really. Would you be annoyed if your boss came in and started to do karaoke in the office? Would you find that annoying?
Sometimes I feel annoying.
Sometimes you feel annoyed. Would you
Yes,
feel annoyed if your boss tried to do singing lessons in the classroom? Would you be annoyed? Or would you be okay with that?
sometimes I feel annoyed about it.
Sometimes you feel annoyed about what? About your boss?
Yes, about my boss, about the behavior of my boss.
Oh my God. Does he do this kind of stuff? Does
Um,
he does he sing and play guitar?
no, he's not playing the guitar, but sometimes he told me some things that I don't have the same opinion.
Ah, that's a problem.
Yes,
Especially because his opinion counts because he's the boss.
okay, he's the
Exactly.
boss.
So, we'll take a look at some situations in our own lives to relate the second conditional to. But so far, what we've seen is there's three people at this office. The old guy is the boss. There's a young girl, and there's a young guy. Um, so, Anna Carolina, how do the people feel in the first picture? How did the young people feel in the first picture? What did you say? Look at their faces.
Uh, they are they are bored.
They're a
Bored.
bit bored, yeah.
Mhm.
So, do you think they're enjoying his guitar playing?
No way.
Probably not. Probably not. He looks like he's bored. The girl looks like she's kind of laughing at the boss, don't you think? She looks like she's snickering or something like that.
Yes.
Something
And
like
and
that.
the guy is pretending that he is enjoying.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, because
He's not doing a
he
very good job pretending. He looks pretty bored.
yes, but at least he is looking at the boss.
The boss is also facing him, so there's not much he can do about it. Okay, so let's see. Uh, Ms. V, I don't know if you were in the class last Thursday. I don't know if you saw these pictures before. Were you?
No, I
Okay.
I did not. Last week I did not. I did not
Okay.
join your class.
Okay. Take a look at picture 2. The old guy is the boss. The young girl with the Christmas hat is one of the workers in the office.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the old guy holding over her head? What's he doing?
She's he's holding. Oh, I remember a branch. I in your class before the branch of mistletoe.
Of mistletoe. Right. And at Christmas time, if you hold the mistletoe over someone's head, what do you
Yeah, and
get
I
to do?
know you have to kiss her.
You have to kiss them. Look at her face. Does she seem okay with that?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Maybe he's too old for her. And his face, his face, does
Mhm.
does look friendly or genuine. I, I'm not sure about the word, but it is like the evil character in the movie.
It's like the evil what?
Evil character in the movie. The bad side, the bad side, and the good side, and he's in another side, the bad side.
Oh, like Jekyll and Hyde.
I don't know. Jacqueline.
Like the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the good side and the bad side. Is that it?
I never watched that movie.
Not a watch. It's a book.
Okay.
But that's okay.
I never read it. I never read it.
Uh, that's okay. Maybe I thought that's what you were talking about, but that's okay. So the point is, he's holding the mistletoe. She doesn't seem very pleased with the situation. Okay. So General question. What do you think life is like working at this office based on these pictures in general? Kadir, what's your impression looking at those 5 pictures? Are
Five?
they looking at all 5 pictures? What's your impression of life working at that office?
Yes, actually, the office life is really boring, I think,
Yeah.
because I want to be active every time. Because of this, I chose my department, civil engineering,
Hmm.
and yes, I think yes, you have a lot of paperworks, and you are in maybe small room. Yes, this is boring, I think. I
And
don't like.
okay, and do they look like they're pretty bored to you in those 5 pictures? Do they look bored?
Yes.
Yeah, they look pretty bored. Uh, at least in pictures 1, 3, and 5, they look pretty bored. In 5, they're not even working. What are they doing?
Yes,
Instead of,
actually, third one, he probably he doesn't have any work, and he is he is bored, and
can you see what he's doing with his hand? What's he got in his hand? Can you see what that is? It's a little hard to tell in the picture.
third one,
In the third picture, yeah. Can you see what he's doing with his hand? What he's got wrapped around his finger? It's on a string. Can you see what
I'm
that
not,
is?
I'm not sure. Maybe no, I didn't see clear.
What's that game that you play when you were a kid? You've got a little thing with a string tied around it, and if you flick it, it comes back to you, and you flick it again, and it comes back to you. Does anyone know what that is?
No, I'm not
No?
sure.
Oh my God! Let's find out. We need to. Yeah, the yo-yo. He's got a yo-yo.
Yo. Okay, okay.
It's a
Okay,
little
I
hard
know.
to see in the picture. Okay, here's the deal. We need to attack these second conditionals, but I want you to read 2 emails written by 2 of the people in these pictures. There's 3 people. You're going to read 2 emails. These emails are not to each other. These are emails to other people about life in the office. So that's what we're going to read about. And start to notice or see if you can find some examples of the second conditional used in the text. If you notice it, great. Okay? So let's start with that because we're going to use these texts as a reference throughout the class. Here's the first one. Let's read it, and afterwards tell me which of those 3 people probably wrote it. Okay? Anna Carolina, can you get us started with the first paragraph, please?
Sure.
Go for it.
The office. Hello. Bored to death with the routine at work these days. I think I'm going out of my mind, to be honest. The only skill I'm learning on this job is how to play with a yo-yo. Mr. Parker, that's my boss, says I should take my work more seriously. Like Linda. Linda's one of the people I share the office with Mr.
The office with, period. It's hard to read.
Okay,
There's a period. Yeah.
sorry. The office with Mr. P is always saying things like, "Oh, Linda, she's such a good worker. If he only he knew, she's just the same as me." Yesterday, we both spent an hour studying the goldfish. Anyway, it is just as well that the Christmas holiday are coming up, 'cause I'm dying for a break. A whole week away from this place. I wish it were longer, but it is better than a slap in the face. I
That's
slap
right.
in the face.
That's right. If you had a choice between a slap in the face and working, maybe it would be better to work, according to the author. Okay. Anna Carolina, who do you think wrote that? I think we can already tell who it is, can't we? Which of those 3 people probably wrote this?
The young guy.
The young guy? or the young girl? Why do you
No,
say the young guy?
the young guy, because the boss told him that he should be like Linda.
Ah, right. Okay. So Linda must be the name of the girl. Okay.
Yes.
And he's learning how to play the yo-yo, how to play with the yo-yo instead of doing his work. And we saw in picture 3 he had a yo-yo. Okay.
And,
So I
and
think you're
he's
right.
learning about the goldfish as well.
And he's learning, yes, instead of studying whatever they're supposed to be studying, they're studying the goldfish. So this is a great job. I think I would like to work at this office, to be honest with you. It sounds pretty good. I like
Me
goldfish.
too. Me
Goldfish
too.
are great. What's wrong with goldfish?
Yes, and I'd like to earn money to play yo-yo.
You know, playing yo-yos are really, it takes some skill. A really good yo-yo player. Go on YouTube and take a look. There's masters out there. Okay, let's read the rest. Let's just say a quick hello to Sun, who's joining us right now. Hello, Sun. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, hello. I'm here.
Excellent. Where are you from, Sun?
I'm from Vietnam.
From Vietnam. Oh, okay. Very good. And where in Vietnam are you from? Are you from?
Ho Chi Minh City. Saigon. Saigon.
Yeah, I was
Saigon.
about to say that.
Yeah.
I was about to say, are you from? Because you know, someone told me the other day that I have to say city if I say Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah. Ho Chi
And
Minh
if,
City.
and if I don't say city, then I have to say Saigon, which is a little confusing for me. Okay, very good, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, we're learning about second conditionals, and we'll see what that means in just a second, son. But we're taking a look at a situation where we're going to see the second conditional. So we looked at a Christmas party at an office, and I asked you to describe how these people feel. And then I asked you, or I'm asking you, to read 2 emails by 2 of the people. So we already started here. We read half of the first email by the young girl, who we found out her name was Linda. Okay, we're going to find out more in just a second. And then we're going to analyze these texts and try to see if we can spot the second conditionals, see how to use them, and then use them ourselves. That's the game plan. Okay? So, son, I'm just going to ask you to just turn off your microphone when you're not speaking, okay? Because we're getting some noise on your background. Okay, thanks very much. Great. All right, Jose. Let's find out. Let's read let's just read the rest of this, okay? Let's find out what else Linda has to say, starting with a funny thing. Go for it, Jose. Uh-oh, I don't hear Jose. Let's see. Who's next? Mr. Kadir, can you pick it up from a funny thing?
Yes, of course. A funny thing happened this morning. Mr. P came into the office holding up a branch of mistletoe and tried to kiss.
What? Mistletoe.
Mistletoe and tried to kiss Linda. You should have seen her face. It was priceless. Priceless. If only I'd had a camera. It's sad thought, really.
Wait. It's sad though.
It's sad though, really. I think poor old Mr. P fancies Linda. He is always finding excuses to wander over to her desk. She must be sick to death of him borrowing her stapler.
Exactly. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Let me just ask a quick question. By the way, welcome to Lena. Hello, Lena. How are you?
Hi, John Eric. I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So, Lena, we are just reviewing the text we read in the last class last week, just so you know. And we're going to go a lot farther with the second conditionals this week, because we really only got halfway through the lesson, and I want to try to do the second half. But first, we need to review the text, just so you know what we're doing. And, Kadir, why does he keep going to borrow the stapler? That seems kind of strange, doesn't it? Why does the boss keep borrowing her stapler?
Stapler?
Yeah, the stapler is this thing on the bottom right side. You see it?
Yes, yes.
That's the stapler. Why does Mr. P keep borrowing her stapler?
Maybe he is fall in love with her. Maybe she love her. Maybe trying.
He loves her.
He loves her. Sorry. Yes. Maybe he is trying to find some excuse for seeing her. Maybe possible.
Right. And is she aware of this? Does she know how he feels? Think back to the first paragraph. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's actually not that clear. Anyway, do you think she knows how he feels?
I think she doesn't have any feeling for him. Yes.
I'm sure she doesn't. And is she a great worker? Think back to the first paragraph. Class, is Linda a superb worker? Because
yes.
Mr. P keeps calling her a great worker. Is she really a great worker? No.
Maybe yes. Maybe he is saying this thing for too because she love her. Maybe she want to gain.
He loves her.
Sorry. He loves her.
Right.
Yes. Maybe because of this, he said these sentences to her.
Right. So he's a little starstruck. Yes, Anna Carolina. Go for it.
I have a doubt. Because I thought to be off means to be angry, crazy, or something like that.
To be off. Where's that? Which paragraph?
The last one.
To be
I'd better be off.
Did we read that yet? Where is that? We didn't get there yet. But okay, yeah. Okay, we did. Let me just read that last part because we didn't actually read it yet. I quite like Mr. P, but I wish he wouldn't try to be hip and trendy because it just doesn't work. Well, the guy's pretty old, so I remember one time he brought his guitar in the office and sang for us. I thought I would die of embarrassment. Anyway, we're having a little Christmas party this evening, so I better be off. Got to blow up some balloons, Anne. So, better be off, Anna Carolina, means I better do what? What's another way to say that? I better do what, Anna Carolina? In this context.
Out.
But without using a phrasal verb, what is the guy going to do? He's going to stop writing the email and he's going to do what? Is he going to... Sorry, go ahead.
To leave?
Yeah, to leave, exactly. I better be off.
I didn't know that to be off means to leave. I thought it means to be mad, angry.
To be off, meaning angry? No, I don't think so. I can't think of an example. I better be off is another way to say I better go.
I heard go off, it means mad.
There's an American expression. I don't think it's British. This is British English here, but there's an American expression, but it's very slang to say he went off on him. He was so angry he went off like a firecracker, like a bomb. A bomb explodes. So I guess that could be British expression too. But you could say he went off. The cop went off on the protesters because he was so angry that they were blocking traffic. The cop went off like a bomb goes off. So in that sense, I think you could use it. To go off meaning to explode emotionally. But here, it really means to leave. I better be off. I better go. Means to go. Okay, so you got 2 for the price of 1 with be off. Okay, there's one more text I want to take a look at. This one is not written by the same person, and it's not to the person that we just read about. So it's not to the young man, but it's written by another of those 3 people in the office. Let's find out who. What do you think, V? Want to take the first paragraph for us?
Yes.
Go for it.
Reply, hi Linda. I wasn't able to open your attachment because this computer's a real dinosaur. It takes forever to do the simplest things. I wish the boss would invest in some new equipment, but he won't even buy himself a stapler. He's forever coming over to borrow mine. It drives me crazy. Maybe I'll buy him once for Christmas. Talking of Christmas, Mr. Parker, that's the boss, has been terrorizing the office with a piece of mistletoe today. What a nightmare. He cornered me by the photocopier, but luckily my phone rang the nick of time, so I managed to escape in one piece.
Oh, so who's writing this email, V?
It's Linda.
It's Linda. And who is Linda? Which
is the girl?
Let's take a look. There she is in picture number 2. There's Linda. The same girl in picture number 1 and in picture number 4 and picture number 5, but in picture number 2 you can see her face. There is Linda. Yeah. Okay. So, and we know her. We know it's her because of the stapler. The stapler. It's the giveaway. He keeps coming to my desk to borrow the stapler. Oh, maybe I'll buy him one for Christmas. Why does he keep bothering me? She has no idea. What does in the nick of time mean? That's a very good question. V, want to take that one? What does in the nick of time? The phone rang in the nick of time, so I escaped. So first, V, what did she escape? What did she escape?
She escaped from to be kissed.
Right, she escaped the nasty kiss from the nasty old man, and the phone rang in the nick of time.
In that moment, right?
In the right moment, in the nick of time. So, just like in a movie, in Lord of the Rings, the eagles flew in the nick of time and they saved everyone in the right moment, in the last possible moment before everything went wrong. That's the nick of time, the last possible moment. All right. Well, let's read the rest of Linda's, and then we're going to tackle the phrasal, not the phrasal verbs, the second conditionals that you see here, and we're going to try them out ourselves. So, what do you think, Lena? Can you finish up the text for us, the second paragraph?
Sure, I can with pleasure. Jamie's just sitting there, playing with a yo-yo. I wish he'd stop. It's driving me up the wall. Remember, I told you about Jamie? He's the guy who asked me out on a date once, and it was a complete disaster. We ended up in a burger bar talking about which is better, a PC or Apple Mac. Not exactly my idea of a romantic evening. If only he had just opened up and talked about his feelings a bit instead of just talking about trivial stuff. He's funny though, and he really makes me laugh. He did an impression of Mr. Parker singing the other day, and I split my sides laughing. I wish I'd recorded it. Anyway, I'll stop now, 'cause I'm dying for a coffee, and then we have got to start decorating the office for.
And then she stops her email there. Okay, very good. So now, there are lots of expressions here, and we could talk about them, but we don't have that much time. So what I really want to do is get right to the grammar. First, I want you to notice something here. We've decided here in number 2 who wrote the emails. We learned a little bit about the people. But question number 3 in exercise 2 says, what information do the emails have in common? What's different? I think it might be worth clarifying that first. So, everyone, well, let me ask you a question. Who in their email talks about annoyances? Jamie, Linda, or both? Class, who talks about it?
I guess both.
Both. I think so too. Who mentions the funny imitation of Mr. P? Which email?
Jamie.
Jamie. And he's talking about... Are you sure it's Jamie? Are you absolutely sure it's Jamie who mentions it?
Actually, I read his email last week. Probably I forgot something. I thought it was Jamie.
Jamie's the one who did the impression, but is he the one who mentions it? I'm asking who mentions it.
Linda.
It's Linda who mentions it, right? Who talks about Christmas party preparations? Both. They both end saying they have to go and blow up balloons or do something. I'm dying to get a coffee and then I have to prepare for the Christmas party. Who mentions computers?
Linda.
Linda. By the way, everything here is basically something that annoyed somebody else. These are the lists of annoyances. They both talk about annoyances in general, but Christmas party preparations, maybe they're a bit annoyed to have to do those. Linda was annoyed that her computer was like a dinosaur and she couldn't open the attachments. Who mentions Mr. P's singing? Jamie,
Both.
Linda, or both? Both. Is it both, really? I thought it was... is it really? Okay, I take your word for it. Now I can't even remember. Okay, but I believe you. We'll find out in a second anyway. Who is annoyed by wasting all this time? Is it Jamie, Linda, or both?
Linda.
I got both and I got Linda.
Both,
Okay.
teacher.
Both. They both feel they're wasting time.
Yes, Jamie brought it up because he wrote about the yo-yo and you know.
I absolutely agree that Jamie mentions it. Does Linda mention wasting time in the one that we just read?
No.
No.
Not really. No. So Jamie does, but Linda doesn't. I'm pretty sure Linda doesn't, but Jamie does in the beginning. I can't find the exact passage. Okay. Who mentions Linda's Mr. P's crush on Linda?
Jamie.
Jamie mentions Mr. P's crush on Linda. So Jamie is aware of it, and Linda doesn't seem to know anything about it, or she's not that clear about it. She just knows the guy's borrowing her stapler. Who mentions dating someone at the office?
Linda.
Linda. Who did she date?
Jamie.
She dated Jamie. There's 3 people in the office. She dated Jamie. And now Mr. P is jealous.
Love triangle.
A love triangle. Well, kind of. Who mentions being bored?
Jamie.
Jamie.
Jamie talks about being bored. Who mentions the mistletoe?
Linda.
Linda.
Linda does. Who mentions the yo-yo?
Jamie.
Jamie. Jamie and Linda, or just Jamie?
Maybe both.
Linda
Both.
mentioned it as well.
She did. She did. You know, all he does is sit there and play the... What was it? He's learning to play the yo-yo, and she's complaining about it, if I remember right. And the final thing is the stapler. Who mentions the stapler?
Linda.
Linda. Okay. Both. Oh, let's see the answers. So, both mention the stapler. Both mention the yo-yo. Only Linda mentions the mistletoe. Only Jamie mentions being bored specifically. Says it, explicitly. Linda talks about dating Jamie. Jamie doesn't even seem to notice. And the others. So these are things that they've all complained about. Now, let's focus on how they complained about these things. What I'm going to do is I'm I'm going to, let's see. At the end of the class, we took a look at this exercise, and I'm going to have you listen to something. I'm going to have you listen to people talk about the office in just a second, okay? But I think it might be good just to focus on, look at these sentences in the box just as a review and tell me which are about the past and which are about the present. Look at the wish column, but if you want a clue, you need to look at the actual situation column. Okay? So which of these are referring to the past? If he only knew, if Mr. P only knew what Linda was really like as a worker. I wish it were longer. I wish my vacation, my holidays were longer. If I had only had a camera, I would have recorded it. She talks about his impression of Mr. P. I wish he'd stop playing with the yo-yo all day. And then I wish I'd recorded his impression. Okay? Which of these are about the past? Which are about the present?
The third one and the fifth.
And the fifth.
Yes.
Okay? So
this sentence talk about the past.
Right. If only I'd had. Okay, what does the apostrophe D stand for in that sentence? If I'd had. In sentence number 3. What does the D stand for? Had or would?
Had.
Had. If only I had had a camera. Correct. And do you know the name of that verb tense, by the way?
Past perfect.
Past perfect is correct. Past perfect, had had. Looks weird, but it's correct. Had had is actually right. Look at the fifth sentence. I wish I'd recorded it. Had or would? Had or would?
Had.
I wish I had recorded it. Past perfect again. Notice how the past perfect is there when we refer to the past in a conditional sentence. That's important. Very important. I wish I had recorded it. Let's see. Do we have an example of would here? If he only knew. If I wish it were longer. If I'd.
I wish he'd stop. It's example.
That's it. I knew there was one. Yep, that's it. The fourth. I wish he would stop. Okay? I wish he would stop when? Now or in the past?
Now.
Right now. When we use would in English, it refers to an imaginary or hypothetical present, not the past. It refers to the present. Can it refer to the past? In another context, it can. But that's a totally different meaning. That's when the past happens regularly, like when there is a repeated action in the past. English does not have the imperfect or the imperfecto or imperfecto or whatever you want to call it. Imparfait. It doesn't exist. So we have to replace it with would. But that's a totally, totally different meaning than this meaning here. It's a present hypothetical situation. A wish for the present. Okay. Now what I really want to do is I want you to listen to people talking about the office. Last week we did this exercise here where you listen to the difference. Okay. But I want to jump ahead. I think you know the difference. For example, if you hear I'd had, it has to be the past perfect. Because you can never say I would have. It's not possible. That's really the key to that exercise. Anyway, I want you to move forward and I want you to do a little bit of listening. Here. Where's my other listening? It's here. Okay, we need to go back to the exercise first. On this slide, you have a summary of the conditionals that you saw in the text, actually. Wish if only with the simple past. Wish if only with would, which is about the present when you're complaining. And wish if only with the past perfect, which is a regret in the past. And those are the examples. I wish I were somewhere else today. If only we didn't have to go today. I wish you would stop smoking. If only they would make a mess. If only they wouldn't make a mess. Sometimes I wish I'd never met her in the past. I regret meeting her. If only we'd brought a camera. I regret not bringing a camera. So, I want you to try this little exercise where you use the wish as a regret in the present, wish as a regret in the past, or if only, and wish or if only as a complaint in the present when it's got the would form. So remember what you're looking for. Simple past, present regret, would, present complaint, and past perfect, had a regret in the past. Let's see how difficult this is. The example, she complains about everything. I wish she wouldn't complain about everything. So that would be a way to turn that into a conditional. I wish right now that she wouldn't complain about everything. That is a present complaint. I wish she would stop complaining. Okay? Let's give this a try. Okay? Who wants to go first? Who's raising their hand out there? Go for it.
Me? Can I?
Go for it, me.
Yeah.
Go for it. Yes.
If only my boss would give me a pay rise.
If only my boss would give me a pay rise. My boss won't give me a pay rise. Okay. How do we feel about that, class?
No, I don't
agree?
I don't think I can put would here. If only my boss gave me a pay rise.
Mm-hmm. So it depends if you're talking about the past or if you're talking about the present.
I'm talking about the present, so I wish my boss could give me a pay rise.
Okay. So my boss won't give me a pay rise. If only he would give me a pay rise. So if you're talking about the present, if only he would give me a pay rise, I would be able to take that vacation. My boss won't give me a pay rise. So that works. It really depends on which meaning you want to express. Basically, that's it. Give me just a second here. I just want to see if there's a particular answer that they're looking for as well. In exercise 9.4. Where is 9.4? I don't even know where it is. I don't even know where it is. Uh-oh, that's bad. Anyway, I'll tell you if it's wrong, and that's not wrong. My boss won't give me a pay rise if only he would in the present. Okay. What do you think, Lena? Look at number 2. They have to work over Christmas.
They wish they had to work over Christmas.
They wish they had to work? Do they want to work?
They didn't have, no?
They wish they didn't have to work over Christmas. Thank you, Jose.
They wish they didn't have to work over Christmas. Okay. Let's make sure that that fits with our examples, though. Let's make.
Wouldn't?
They wish they wouldn't have to work. If we're talking about the present. The present can extend to the future. So, they wish they wouldn't have to work over Christmas. Sounds better, doesn't it? Because it's the present, it's the situation in the present that could change. And if it were to change in the present, the future would be affected by it. So would actually makes a lot of sense here. I agree. They wish they wouldn't have to work over Christmas. That's much more hypothetical than saying they wish they didn't have to. They wish they didn't have to means there's no way to change it. They wish they wouldn't have to is more about the hypothetical wish for it to change. So they're slightly different. I think would sounds a little bit better in this case. What about number 3? My job is so boring. My job is so boring.
May I try?
You may.
Yes. My job is so boring. if only my job wasn't so boring.
If only my job wasn't so boring. This is, give me a second here. You know, why did I lose my place? Give me a second here, sorry. If only my job wasn't so boring. Good. If we go back here, if only my job wasn't so boring. So that means that you're expressing a present regret using the simple past, right? You're in row number 1. Okay, great. It sounds good. If only my job wasn't so boring. It works.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can I say if only my job wouldn't be so boring? I mean, in the sense not, I don't regret, I'm complaining.
Mm-hmm. If only my job wouldn't be so boring. It doesn't sound good at all. And here's the problem. You can't, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's very rare to put would or any modal verb with the if part of the sentence. It's not impossible, but it's very unusual to do it. In fact, you can only do it in certain very particular circumstances. Here, it doesn't sound good. If only my job, it's got to be weren't so boring, or if only my job wasn't so boring. There's a little difference between was and were. There's a little difference between them. So basically, Lena, the answer is no. It doesn't really sound good. Later, we can see when it is possible, but not right now because it'll be confusing. Okay, so basically, it's if plus past plus would or might or should or could. But it's always the past tense in the beginning, or 90% of the time, it's the past tense, not another modal verb. Let's take a look at 4.
Okay.
They won't stop talking. Oh my God.
I wish they would stop talking.
Okay, good. So that means you're talking about the present. You're complaining about the present.
It is a complaint.
Sounds good to me. What about number 5? He went to bed late last night. Oh, this is about something he did yesterday. So that might help you. What do you think, Kadir? Want to take this one? He wishes he went to bed. He went to bed late. He's not happy about that today. He regrets it. So?
Yes. He wishes hadn't. He wishes.
Good.
Good. Hadn't went to bed late.
Hadn't went. Oh, come on. Hadn't went. Not possible.
No, sorry.
Hadn't.
Sorry. He wishes hadn't gone to bed late last night.
Correct. He wishes he hadn't gone. You are expressing a regret about the past. You are in the last row. He wishes he hadn't gone to bed late. Very good. Past regret, use the past perfect. Very good, very good. Anna Carolina, are you feeling brave? Want to try the 6? He didn't get the job in Paris.
If he only...
Good. If he only what?
He had gotten...
If only he had gotten the job in Paris. Very good. If only he had gotten the job in Paris, his life would be so much better. If only he had gotten. So, where are you in this table, Anna Carolina? First, second, or third row? Your answer is correct. Which does it fit?
Regret.
A regret about the past. Right.
Mm-hmm.
A regret about the past, not the present. If only he had gotten that job. In British English, they will say, if only he got. In American English, if only he had got. British English. If only he had gotten. American English. G-O-T-T-E-N. All right, very good, because this is really tricky. So we're not just looking at the form of the second conditional, we're looking at 3 applications, 3 different uses of the second conditional. All right, we're kind of out of time, but if you want to stick around for a few minutes, I'm going to give you one more activity where I want you to do a little bit of listening. Okay, we're going to run over a few minutes, but if you want to stick around, please do. If you got to go, no problem, I understand. You will hear Mr. Parker from the office. That's the old guy, talking to a friend in a pub about Jamie and Linda. Work with a partner. Okay, don't worry about that. We'll do this as a group. As a group, decide what he is going to say. So first, what do you think the old man is going to say if he's out drinking with his buddies after work? Is he going to be complaining about them? You think he's going to be annoyed by anything that they do? V, what's one thing Mr. Parker would probably say?
I think that he would mention about Linda.
Probably, because he's obsessed with her. So
No,
what might he? Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think she's upset with her. She's falling in love with her.
She or he?
He.
He's
Yeah.
he's in love with Linda, so he's not upset with her. Okay, very good.
She has a thing with her. She has a thing for her.
She doesn't have a thing for her. He has a thing for her. He.
Oh no. Yeah.
The dude. Yeah.
He has a thing for her.
He has a thing for her, and he should keep his thing to himself. Exactly. Linda, what's something that Mr. Parker might complain about with Linda or Jamie?
I think he would complain about Jamie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Probably he can imagine that Jamie has feeling for Linda. Probably he's jealous. I don't know.
Exactly.
I think he doesn't think that Jamie is worth Linda.
Jamie isn't good enough for his lovely Linda.
Linda is perfection, and Jamie just is not that good.
Very good. Okay. And Kadir, using one of those conditional forms, I want you to say something that Mr. Parker is probably going to say about Jamie. Using one of those conditional forms. Remember the three types. We had a present regret, we had a present complaint, and we had a past regret. So, what do you think Mr. P will probably say, word for word? Kadir.
Yes, maybe he can say, if only Linda hadn't date with.
Yeah. If only she hadn't gone out with Jamie.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. So he regrets what she did in the past. Excellent. Okay, very good. I want you to listen to the real conversation now. Listen to the real conversation and tell me if you were right. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Mr. P says, well, I suppose he's a nice boy, really, but how shall I put it? He's not exactly committed to his work, you know? I mean, I wish he'd at least pretend to do some work. But I was walking past his desk the other day. He was just playing with a yo-yo, just like that. And it's like he wasn't embarrassed at all. He just goes, hi, Mr. Parker, and carries on. So his friend Frank is sitting in the bar with him, and Frank says, what nerve? Mr. Parker, yeah, it drives me up the wall, that kind of cheeky attitude. Frank, I know exactly how you feel. I don't know how you put up with it. Can't you get rid of him? Peter, sorry. If only it were that easy. And what really drives me mad is that I think he's a bad influence on Linda, because he's always chatting to her, he's always taking her away from her work. Frank, oh dear, what a shame. That's not good, is it? Mr. Peter, not at all. Actually, to be honest, I think he's secretly in love with her. Well, I can't blame her. She is very attractive. But the funny thing is, I think she rather fancies me. You know, she's forever coming up to my desk, for example, to collect her stapler that I borrowed from her, or whatever. And I think it's just an excuse, you know, to be near me. Frank, really? Do you think so? Look, I don't mean to be rude, Peter, but you've got to face up to it. You're probably not exactly Brad Pitt. I mean, you probably remind her of her dad. Peter. Oh, thank you very much, Frank. Frank. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. Peter. Yeah, okay, fair enough. You're right, of course. But anyway, Jamie's wasting his time. Linda will never fall for him. Girls nowadays go for young men with drive and ambition, not wasters like Jamie. I wish he could see that. I wish he could see that. Frank. Yeah. Although, to be honest with you, Peter, I really don't know what girls nowadays go for. If only I did. I mean, you should see some of the young men my daughter goes out with. Peter. Oh, yeah? How is Cindy? Has she found a job yet? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's the conversation. Now, can you identify some of the complaints that were made using the second conditional? Could you identify any of those things? Actually, we're really over time. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes. We got to stop. Let's jump to the exercise first, and then I'll tell you what to do on your own if you want to continue. So, does Mr. Parker think Jamie should be embarrassed, class? Does he think that Jamie ought to be embarrassed?
I think yes, he mentioned something like that.
Yeah, because he should see that he is a waster, a time waster, I guess is what he's saying. So he should be. And also because he found, what did he find Jamie doing that he thought was embarrassing? What was Jamie doing? Was he working?
He was not working. He said, for example, I wish Jamie had at least pretending to do his work. He was playing yo-yo.
Exactly. I wish he would at least pretend to be working. Right. Okay. Very good. And this question here, Mr. Parker. Why does Mr. Parker think Linda is attracted to him?
Because she's rather fancies him.
And how does it? What's the clue that makes him think that?
She usually goes to his desk to collect the stapler.
She's always coming to my desk to get the stapler back. That means she must love me. Exactly. Okay. Very good. And the third one, Frank mentions the actor Brad Pitt. Why does he mention Brad Pitt? Why does Frank mention Brad Pitt in relation to Peter?
I think he thinks that Mr. Pitt doesn't look like Brad Pitt. He is something like Linda's dad.
Exactly.
He probably reminds her of her dad.
So he doesn't stand a chance with Linda, and he ought to face up to the fact. Okay, and last question. Mr. Parker, why does Mr. Parker, Peter Parker, think that Linda will never be attracted to Jamie? Little does he know. What does he think? Yeah.
Jamie is just wasting his time.
He's wasting his time. Right. He isn't ambitious, I guess is the answer. Okay. So, we've actually got to stop here, but the plan is this. I have the script on the next 2 pages, on 15 and on 16. I think that's it. Yep. So what you could do, one thing that you could do is use the audio script, and you could, there's actually 2 exercises here. One is to underline the expressions, but another one is to underline the conditionals, or to pick them out and then analyze them according to this table on slide 12. Okay? For that, I don't have answers here, but I'd be happy to correct them if you're interested. And and if I have time, I can try to put the answers at the end for you to self-correct. Okay? But I would go through this, pick them out, analyze them, and what we're going to do is, in the next Grammar Garage class, we're going to move on to another kind of conditional. The last one, third conditionals. And maybe in that class what I can have you do is an exercise, a speaking exercise, where you get to use all of the conditionals. Because actually, this has the third conditional in it. We just didn't really call it the third conditional. The past regret was the third conditional. So the next class, I'd like you to do some free speaking activities, some role plays, some simulations, where you get to use all the conditionals that you've learned so far, at least from this week and the ones you're going to learn next week. Okay? So try to pick out and analyze those conditionals in the text on 15 and 16. Okay? That's it for today. I'll put the answers at the end if I have time. If I forget, remind me. Tomorrow I'll be back for 2 hours of fun-filled English, learning from pictures and language games. Okay? So that'll be fun. And come back next Thursday at the same time for our last conditional class in Grammar Garage. Thanks for being patient. I know I went a bit over time. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. Bye for now, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.